there, in this video we'll be learning how to do factorization by using the method difference of two squares. So first I'm going to begin with the first example, and with the first example we are having a square minus 16, so we are factorizing this. So the method name is a difference of two square. It means that difference means is the takeaway, so we have got the minus sign between the two terms. Now, the next keyword here is the squares. So the first thing I have to do is, whatever the terms we are factorizing, we need to write them down in a square number form. So to write this down in a square form, so how I'm going to write down a square, so a variable would be inside the bracket, where to write down 16 as a square number, so 4 is the square of 16. Got the numbers written now with the squares, so and you have a different sign in between. You make your two brackets, you write down the first term with the positive and the second term, then you write down the same thing by having a negative sign in between the two terms. So the general form is a plus b and a minus b. So now then we'll get a plus 4 and a minus 4. Let's have a look to the next example now. Now again we're going to try to write down x as a square. So that would be x square minus, the next is a square here as well. So how can you write down 100 as some square number? That would be 10. Once you would have both the terms written with the square numbers and between them is a negative sign, then we're going to make two brackets. You write down what do you have in the first bracket, which is x, and then plus with the next bracket is a 10, and then you write down the same thing but with the negative sign in between. So now we're having this similar question now. So we have got to do, the first thing is to write both of them in the square form. So to write down 9, so 9 can be written as a square of 3. So the first bracket would be 3, the next would be b here. When you just write down to factorize it, you make your two brackets. You write down 3 plus b and then 3 minus b. If you write down the bracket, let's say for example 3 minus b first and 3 plus b after, that still be the same thing. So now again I'm doing the same thing. I'm just trying to write down both the terms in the square form. So 49 can be written as a square number of 7. So that would be 7x. The next one would be 5. Now you write down 7x plus 5 and 7x minus 5 would be your next bracket. So here we have got next now. So we see that because it's the term written is a 2. 2 is not a square number. So we need to do one additional step where we need to see that can we factorize it. So by factorizing it, we'll be having 2 outside the bracket. Inside the bracket would be y square minus 9. Now because now we are getting a term which is a 9 and it's a square number. So we're keeping this 2 remains outside. We write down these two terms as a square numbers. So this is a y and 9 can be written as 3 square. You're going to keep this 2 remains outside. You make your two brackets. You write them down as y plus 3 and then y minus 3. The next is just similar. So we see that 3 is not a square number. 75 is not the square number. To simplify it, so we factorize it first. And inside the bracket we'll be having x square minus 25. Now we can write this down as x square minus, and 25 can be written as a 5 square. So here we have got both the numbers with the squares and between them is a negative sign. Keeping 3 remains the same, we're going to make our two brackets. So this would be now x plus 5 and then x minus 5. This is now we are having the last example on this. So what we're going to do, because we know that 20 and 5 is none of them is the square number. So we try to factorize it. So factorization of this would be we can take 5 outside. How many 5 makes 20 would be 4. And then how many 5 makes 5 is a 1. So you just would have c square. Keeping this outside 5 remains the same. You write them down as a square number. So that would be 2 and this would be c. You make your two brackets. You write down 2 plus c and 2 minus c. So this is a really short video on how to do the factorization by using the difference of two square method. And thanks for watching the video.